What is going on, you guys? AK40 Kevin here in the gamer heaven. Today we are going to be doing a side-by-side comparison of the Razer Orbweaver, the Razer Tartarus V2, and the Razer Tartarus Pro. All one-handed keyboards offered by Razer. These two are currently on the market. This one has been discontinued for quite some time. However, you still can find it, and I will have links to all of these in the description below. And they're all phenomenal, but they all have some pros, and they have some cons as well. So without further ado, let's compare these bad boys. Alrighty boys, over here at the Stormtrooper desktop as always, just getting set up with my camera here. So, the Razer Orbweaver came out in January of 2013, took the market kind of by storm. There wasn't a whole lot of one-handed keyboards out there. Logitech had one, but it felt like you were finger banging a prom date. It wasn't very satisfying. And then, Razer had kind of blown up on the scene as a new computer peripheral maker for gaming with keyboards, headsets, mice, etc. And they dropped this bad boy, the Orbweaver, which I have been using for about 2.5 months since my coworker slash buddy handed it over to me, which is freaking awesome. I really do appreciate that. Thank you, Jacob. So he plays a lot of MMOs and whatnot. I play a lot of first-person shooters, so he thought, it'd be better in my hands, or my strong hand, child. So, and it definitely does, because, one-handed keyboards, they're good for MMOs because, you can set multiple profiles to where you can switch over with like a button right here and it'll remap all these to a whole new preset. Press it again, you've got all new buttons again. All in all, one-handed keyboards are generally for first-person shooters. So you have all that mouse space, especially if you have like a full-size mouse pad like this. I just pushed my full-size keyboard all the way back and out of the way. I use my one-hander and I have all that space. Generally I prefer about 8 to 10 inches of mouse space so I can, obviously track and then also snap aim if I need to. But anyway, that's neither here nor there nor in the rear. And as of recent, 2018 I believe, they came out with the Tartarus V2, and they were selling the Orbweaver Chroma and the V2 for a while together. The Chroma is just the exact version of this one, except it has full RGB chroma, so you can change the colors of the backlight instead of just lime green like this one here. And then they dropped the Pro. I broke it. No, just kidding. This is one of the adjustment pieces here. Then they dropped the Pro. So retail on this one, it came out was $340, but you can find them all day for like 120 bucks. This bad boy retails for $80, and this bad boy retails for $130. However, these two are always on sale on Amazon. Always. This one you have to buy either refurbished or used, but you can find it in the Amazon link below. So we're going to start out with looks, which I know is completely subjective, but the appearance. In my opinion, I do think these two newer models do look more handsome than the Orbweaver here. The Orbweaver is not ugly or anything like that. It's a fine looking device, especially for 2013. But now, I do just think that these look a little bit sleeker, especially this white one here. I think that would go perfect with my Stormtrooper theme. I'm not a huge fan of this. I will be getting it out of my house pretty soon here and returned. Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute, but cosmetically, I think these look a little bit better. Next up, we're going to go with ergonomics and comfort. They're all very, very comfortable. These two are identical when it comes to comfort. It's basically like this soft touch, very smooth plastic here, and then a memory foam, leatherette coated pad right there, which feels really, really good. And then over here on the Orbweaver, it's much, much different. You have this rubberized coating here, more rubber down here, very grippy but not padded at all. But it actually works pretty good. I mean, you're not really pushing down with your wrist with a lot of force or anything like that. So they're all very, very comfortable, but I would say the new models are more comfortable. But a caveat to that is that this is more adjustable, so it's going to fit more hand sizes. These two models only adjust by pulling up this cover or shroud here, and then you can either adjust from here to here. That's it. So if you've got longer, skinnier fingers, you can come back here, or shorter sausage fingers, you come up there. As where the Orbweaver has 3 major points of adjustment. So you can actually adjust the angle of the palm rest. You can adjust how far this pad is out. And then also how far the thumbstick module is too. So you have a lot more customization, but I would still say that these are more comfortable. Even with all that adjustment and just that tiny bit of adjustment there, these are still ergonomically more comfortable, but not by much. Next would be included accessories. You don't really get much. It's not like you're getting a whole heck of a lot. This has no accessories and just a 6-foot rubber cable. These have 10-foot braided cables, and also they do come with this removable thumbstick here. However, these are just slick hard plastic. They're not rubberized or anything, which I think is really stupid because, like, why wouldn't they just include like a nice, you know, like a scuff style stick, like a rubberized Control Freak style thing? You could actually slip a Control Freak's rubber keypad over this if you want. Me personally, I just take it off. I actually prefer just to have the 4-point D-pad on there. Other than that, you do get the Razer stickers and the instruction manual, and that's about it. Take your toy and go. Good girl. Being noisy with her chewing. Right, like Leonardo da Vinci, I'm going freehand for this next piece, boys. So the keycaps. These have the Razer blues, which to my knowledge aren't even being used anymore. There's greens, purples, oranges, and I think Razer has something that's comparable to the Cherry MX Reds. I think it's their orange. But anyway, this has the blues. They're very quiet. They have a nice resistance. You hit a nice firm wall, and then you get the actual brake where it actuates, and then you get a pretty satisfying reset. The reset's a little sloppy for my taste. It doesn't really kick your finger back up or, you know, pop it back up. But they feel good. Without the keycaps, it's very quiet. With the keycaps, it's a little more noisy, obviously, because it's echoing inside the little keycap there. These have the mecha membrane switches, which I am a huge fan of. So besides the greens, which I have in the Black Widow Elite over here, these are my second favorite switch offered by Razer. The mecha membranes is a combination of an old school membrane, so it has that rubber plunger in there, so you get kind of a squish like an old membrane keyboard, but that little metal prong in there also gives you that tactile click, and these are, oh god, they're so satisfying to click. I could just sit here and do this for like fucking days. What makes it so satisfying is that it has like a good resistance. You have to use a good amount of force to actually actuate them, but when you do, you get the most satisfying like the on and off for these switches. It's like, you know, when you hit them, and then it just pops your finger back up. Like you get, it's just like springs it back up. I love these switches. You have to try these. The best way to try switches, a lot of times companies like Corsair, Razer, Logitech, Red Dragon, I think, HYPR, sometimes they offer like a little sample kit. It's like a little bar with a bunch of different switches that they offer, and you can go down and click, 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 just try them all, finger blast them all, give them the old knuckle rocket and see which one satisfies your fingertips the most. But me personally, the mecha membranes are pretty hot shit. Now over here, these are the analog optical switches, meaning it's just a lever mechanism in there, and then a sensor, a laser, basically, that will sense how far down these buttons are depressed. I abso-fucking-lutely hate these switches so much. It feels like you're fingering a jar of mayonnaise. Like, these feel so like an old school membrane keyboard from the 90s, like an old Dell or HP a work keyboard feels better than these. These feel so shitty, and the way they market it and advertise it is like you can adjust the, you know, the resistance and the click and the snapback and all that. It's not like that at all. All you can choose is when the buttons actuate and register. Like, do they register here or here or here? And it's not even accurate. That's the thing. The one feature that this has that makes it $40 over the V2, which is a great one-hander, by the way, it doesn't work good because, you know, I had it set in my review, if you watch that video, to have a second function when you push it all the way down. So it's like, you know, anything before all the way down, and it, you know, it'll do one thing. And then I press all the way down, it's supposed to do another thing. But it didn't work like that. It would activate the second function at about halfway, and then I had all this dead slop that did absolutely nothing. So it just felt so sloppily put together. it felt so poor using this thing, which really sucks because I wanted to like it because it's, you know, goes with my theme. It's white. I was like, God damn, but it feels so shitty. These keys are so bad. Between the fact that you get no resistance or tactile click from them whatsoever, no satisfying, like, oh, yep, I just hit that button. And then also the fact that there's so much dead slop at the end. They're not good at all. Alright, so I'm going to close out with value. So like I said, this retails for $79.99, let's say 80 bucks. This one retails for $130, and this one doesn't have a retail anymore, but you can generally find them for about $120 on Amazon. So basically between these two would be the Orbweaver price-wise. And you might find either the Orbweaver or the Orbweaver Chroma. However, if you keep your eyes open on like Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, stuff like that, I've seen these pretty damn cheap. And, you know, I was lucky enough to get this one for free, but there's a lot of people trying to get rid of these and upgrade to something newer, and you could scoop it up off them for pretty darn cheap. So I feel like keep your eyes open for an Orbweaver because they are phenomenal. I absolutely love this one. I will say this is a kick-ass value. For $80, if you're into first-person shooters and you want extra mouse space and you want something with some extremely satisfying buttons and full RGB, Jesus Christ, good golly, Miss Molly, full Cardi B RGB, and also, I forgot to mention, these do also have a mouse wheel on them that not only scrolls up and down, but clicks as well, and that is 3 different remappable functions for the mouse wheel. And they all have like a third button up here. They all have 8-way D-pads. I would say the best value right now would be the Tartarus V2. So if I had to recommend one for you to purchase right now, in my opinion, the V2 is the best value. It has the best switches out of all these. These are absolute trash. These feel pretty good, but the blues are a little outdated, and they don't have the greatest, most satisfying reset. These feel super good, and you know, this doesn't have to run on the legacy software like this bad boy. You can just run it on the same Razer Synapse 3 app that runs all the other Razer products right now. And it works good. Ergonomically feels good. I think it looks handsome. I mean, this is just a good looking, it's just a good performing peripheral for the $80 price point. And Amazon runs sales on these a lot. Like right now, I think it's on sale for like $72, and I've seen it as low as like $60, which is really cool. Actually, I think $50 during this Black Friday that just passed. So, best value, second best value. Keep an eye peeled for a used deal on that. And then I can't even recommend the Pro, honestly. I'll have it linked in the description below in case you want to try out the Opti analog switches or whatever in hopes that it might stimulate you, but it's probably not. So yeah, I do have individual reviews of all 3 of these. If you want to see more in-depth the features about them, and I also plug it into my PC and do a little gaming, a little, you know, Call of Duty. That's going to do it, you guys. Drop in the comment section below if you have any questions, comments, concerns about these products here. Like I said, in the description below, I will have links to all 3 of these bad boys. And make sure you subscribe so you're aware of new videos that come out regarding computer peripheral reviews, PC builds, gameplay vlogs, as well as news around the current consoles, you know, where to find them, stuff like that. Alright guys, peace.